Hello, thank you for joining us for today for plant-based cooking. If this is your first time joining, welcome. And for our returning visitors, we're so happy to have you back. We have a special treat here for you with our favorite chef, Chef Kimberly McNair Brock. And also, we would like to thank our partnership with Jefferson County Office of the Alabama Cooperative Extension System for their partnership in hosting today's show. If this is your first time joining, we want to share that AARP Alabama is is a 501c organization, and our goal is to make life easier as you age. If you have any questions about AARP Alabama, please feel free to put it in the comments section or send us a direct message. Now, without further ado, I would like to welcome our favorite chef, Chef Kimberly McNair Brock. Hi, Chef Kim. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you back. We know you always have something delicious and healthy for us. Can you tell us what you have for us today?
So today we have vegan chorizo pasta salad.
Sounds really good and something different as well. I can't wait to see what you have in store for us. So I'm gonna let you take it over from taking over now, and we'll be back soon.
Awesome. So today we've got a little bit pre-prepped, just our pasta. It's already been boiled and chilled. I'm gonna turn our burner on here because we're going to grill some red onions. And you can, if you like your onions raw, you certainly can use them raw. But this just adds a different level of flavor to the dish and just takes it up just a bit. And a lot of people, they like onions, but they don't like raw onions. So this is like a perfect um, recipe for if somebody's having a barbecue and you're vegan and or plant-based or trying to go plant-based and you want to bring a dish. Like a lot of times people don't want you to bring a dish because they don't think they're going to like it. But even the meat eaters will love this one. So I've just got these cut sort of into rings, and I'm going to add a little avocado oil to them and salt and pepper. This is our spice blend here, which has salt and pepper in it and a little bit of granulated garlic. So burner should be a little hot. Not, it's getting there, but we're going to be multitasking today. So we'll have these grilling while we're working on something else. And another thing is, if you bring this, you've got the flavor, some grilled smoky flavor in your salad, you're also contributing to the cookout. So it's just really a delicious thing. And if you don't have an indoor grill or a grill pan, you've got a cast iron pan, you can use that. Just don't oil the pan so that it can get the dark marks on it. And also, if you don't have a cast iron pan, you can just use a regular skillet. But there again, don't put any oil or anything in the pan. So, as we always do, we like to build and layer flavors. So, on the pasta, and with this, of course, everything's better the next day. But what I like to do with this is go ahead and cut up the vegetables that will leach moisture and sort of macerate them. So we've got some local tomatoes here. We're just kind of going to do a rough chop of those, sort of a medium dice here. And I'm just going to put them right on top of the pasta. So you probably would use, well, I'm doing half of what the recipe calls for. So probably 1 to 1.5 really big beefsteak tomato. So, and you'll hear the veggies, the onion sizzling, but I really want to get some nice color on them. So we're going to let them go for a little bit. right, I'm gonna do either 2.5 or, I'm sorry, 1.5 or 2 tomatoes here. Just gonna eyeball it and see where we are. Okay. I think I'm gonna do that other half. And these were not very large. These were sort of a medium-sized tomato. So, like I said, if you got some really large beef steak, you do that. So immediately to this, I'm going to add in something to help them, the maceration start going. Okay. So I'm going to add a little sea salt to this, so the moisture will start drawing out. Okay. And it may look like a lot, but it's not. It's just what you need. Okay. I'm going to check on our onions and turn them over. So yeah, I got some nice little grill marks on that. Just flip them all over. And I don't know, I might need to turn the vent on. I don't want it to be too loud for you guys. So we'll see. I won't have it on here very long. All right. So, got that going. The next thing we're going to do are cucumbers. And these are local cucumbers. Some of them I've already started to peel. And I like the small ones because the seeds are really small. And so you can peel the whole cucumber, or you can just peel parts of it. So I just kind of like to peel it in strips every other little space. It just adds some color to it, and this way you got not just a pale green, but dark green color in here too. And then just going to chop this about the same width as we did the tomato. You think cucumbers? It really is good in the salad. You're going to have a little crunch in here with this pasta salad. That's kind of what makes it nice and makes it different. Now, you could put any kind of vegetables in here that you like, even if you wanted to do a zucchini or a squash or something. But like I said, I just love these cucumbers, and it goes well with all of these flavors. So I think that's good, a good amount of cucumbers there. I'm going to season them as well. Okay. So they'll just start leaching out. They already are leaching out some moisture. So we're going to keep everything colorful because we eat with our eyes first. So I have 4 different bell peppers here, and I'm just using not even half of each color. So maybe a third of a bell pepper, just one of the sides. And I'm going to cut them in the same manner after we get that little white pith out of the middle. Okay. And add this in. Once I get this cut up, I'm going to stir it into our pasta. Just try to get things going. I got a tiny bowl here. I might have to move some things around. So, but already really colorful. Alright, what's going on with my onions are getting quiet. Now, there is some cayenne in this recipe, so you don't have to add a jalapeno, but if you want to take it up a notch, you certainly can add your favorite pepper, or whether it's a jalapeno or a serrano, to it. Let's see, I'm trying to tad. Okay. And once that gets going, I'm going to try to break up these smaller pieces of this onion. And then we're going to chop that end up and put that in as well. So, all right, so we're good on that. We'll stir this up a little bit, see if we need to get us another bowl. I think I will get a little larger bowl for us. Well, this is going to be really big, guys, but pardon me. Do you have any questions so far? At least went away. So that works. We're just gonna put this in and make sure everything kind of gets mixed in well with the pasta. Yep, the tomatoes are already breaking down slightly. Okay. So now we can see what we are working with. Okay. All right, so we're going to chop some spinach up to go in here. Just a nice big handful of spinach. And this will add some more color, some green to the salad. I'm getting it healthy. People might not know that it's got spinach in it, but it's just a good way to get all your nutrients in. And again, I'm going to sort of sprinkle this with a little seasoning. Okay. I think our onions are almost done. Just a few more minutes there. So you see, it's easy to have two things going on at one time, you know. And then, like I said, you take this, you can chill it off, and it'll just be really nice. So we've got fresh herbs that we're putting in here. So this is probably about a tablespoon and a half, once we chop it up, of oregano, fresh oregano. So you want to chop that up really well. I've just already picked the leaves off the stems. It might be more like 2 tablespoons, but hey, it's all good. And I've got some fresh basil that came out of our garden that we're going to use today. So my sister is so excited about her garden she's been doing. So this basil just sort of takes it over the top. I don't know if you all remember another pasta salad that we did. Its base was like a basil aioli, but this one has a balsamic vinaigrette. So that's a good amount. Just picking the leaves off the stem and layering them, and then just kind of cutting it into slices. And I like to have this along with the spinach because people see it, but they taste something, they say, okay, what's in here? You know, and they're surprised by the taste of the fresh basil. So to this, I'm going to go ahead and add in our balsamic vinaigrette so that the noodles can start getting everything in them as well, all the flavors. This is just a balsamic vinaigrette, and I kind of made it a little sweeter than I normally would with agave, just because of the salad. It's not going to be sweet by any stretch, but just didn't want it to be tart because there are going to be so many other components in here that have a savory nod to them. And I think our onions are done. I'm going to, and we're going to add more as we go on. Before I get to the onions, I also like to put a little bit, speaking of that basil aioli, I'm going to do a little bit of vegan mayo, about a heaping tablespoon. And so that just kind of makes that creaminess there with the vinaigrette and the salad. It's not going to be really mayo forward, mayonnaise forward, but it just kind of helps to blend it all together and make it more creamy. All right. Okay. Take these onions off and chop them up. And then we're going to give it a taste before we add everything else in. Okay. So, also, I haven't gotten to it yet, I'm just telling you in advance. They actually have a lot of plant-based meats, in your refrigerated and frozen section now. We make all of ours from scratch, and that's the vegan chorizo that we're using today. But I have not tried, I have seen some in the stores, some vegan chorizo that looks like they have pretty clean ingredients. So, and it's over by the produce section. All right, do this last one. So to this, I'm going to chop these up. So I'm just going to take them out and just sort of dice them up in the same size as we did the peppers, cucumbers. And it's something about grilled vegetables. I mean, it smells like you're cooking meat on the grill. So just a great flavor. My favorite is red onions and carrots. So make sure they're all cut evenly. You don't want to have any big chunks of onion, even though they've been grilled, so they're a lot more mild. Add that in. Do another handful. Chop them up and add them in. And grilled onions are really good just to kind of have around. If you do a nice batch of them, you can add them to salads, add them to sandwiches, and just adds another layer of flavor to your dish or whatever it is that you're cooking. It takes something from basic to something special. All right. So I'll mix that around and give it a little taste before we go on. And like I said, this is something that, you can bring and it can feed several people. You can do a whole box, like 1 pound of pasta or half, maybe you're just going to have it at home and eat off of it for a few days. That's also an option. Get a little bit of everything. It's really good. So I'm going to add a little vegan parm to this. Take a little bit of top. And we want to add our heat. So I'm going to add I want to add a lot, but that'll be nice. I'll add 1/4 teaspoon to this. I'm going to add just a little bit more. A little bit more than 1/4 teaspoon. And this is just they're red pepper flakes, but they're local red pepper flakes. So it's almost like a dusting of cayenne and the red pepper flakes together. So it's really good. I love adding it to lots of things. Okay. And then we're going to add our olives, which you can have topping on. That's nice to add. Or if you just have some olives, you can just chop them. I'm doing unbrined green olives. You can do unbrined black olives, just whatever you like. And then also, I've got this here and I didn't use, but this is jalapeno I mentioned. I think we're good with spice. Or you can also use grilled green onions. You can grill green onions or just put them in raw as well. So I'm just going to do a few olives. Even if people don't like olives, the fact that they're unbrined it's not really that bad to add them in. So just kind of adds a different flavor to it that the salad kind of needs, in my opinion. So you're going to chop them up in a decent size so that they kind of mix with everything. Now, if you want to leave them whole, you can, or you can slice them in half. So if people don't want them, they can pick them out. Okay. All right. Mix those in. And then last but certainly not least, we're going to add in our vegan chorizo. So I'm just going to flake that in, stir it, and keep adding the rest. And you don't want to overpower it, just kind of having a hint of it in there, like, what is this in here? So I would say this probably was half a cup, maybe a little more of our vegan chorizo. I'll give it one more taste. And some of the chunks are left a little bigger so people can see and notice them in there. But as you can see, it's already very wet. It's moist. It's, if you want to add more of your dressing, you certainly can. But I think we've got a good bit in here already. So. It's really good. I'm going to add a little bit of our spice blend. Just for flavor. It's mostly garlic. Add a little bit in there. That's it. So now we'll plate it up.
That looks so delicious, Chef Kim. Gosh, I know our viewers at home are probably watering at the mouth and excited to try this at home themselves. Now, I did forget to ask earlier before we had transitioned to you for the cooking demonstration. Can you give the prep time for this recipe?
I would say 30, 45 minutes, simply because we got to boil the pasta. But however long we did this, it wasn't very long, and I chopped everything. The only thing I didn't do was, like I said, the pasta. So that's probably the longest piece of puzzle. And I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I was just going to ask one other thing.
Sure.
For some of our viewers who may inquire about substitutions, are there any substitutions that you can recommend for this particular recipe as well?
Yes, you can certainly use some gluten-free pasta.
Okay.
If you didn't want to, have this kind of pasta here. And that's definitely an option. I'm adding some pepperoncini or banana peppers here. A little bit more of our vegan parm over the top.
Lovely.
And a little bit of basil to finish it off. And that's it.
Lovely. You never fail with giving us a great recipe to try at home.
Well, I think you'll enjoy this one.
Yes, especially for this season of the year. I think our guests and viewers would love this recipe. Thank you, Chef Kim. We can't wait to have you back for next month.
You're so welcome.
Bye for now. Thank you again for viewing Plant-Based Cooking today. We also want to give our thanks again to the Alabama Cooperative Extension System for this partnership for today and making today's show a possibility. If this is your first time joining, please follow us on aarpalabama.org. If you did not receive a copy of today's recipe, please go email us at AARP@aarp.org to receive a copy of this recipe. Also, if you're interested in viewing future content for plant-based cooking, be on the lookout and go to the AARP Alabama website to sign up for our future upcoming shows. Thank you, and we're so happy that you joined us today. Bye-bye for now.